All right, Unit 1, Lesson 2 practice. Got some serious looking equations on this one. So we're going to follow all our rules. We're going to distribute first, then we're going to combine like terms, then we're going to move across the equal sign by adding opposite, and then we're going to isolate our variable x or r or w or whatever it is by dividing or multiplying by same. So opposite sign, same sign. Okay? All right, so this one has a distribution. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7x. Negative 7 times positive 8 is a negative 56 plus 4. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Done distributing. Is there anything to combine? Well, let's see. That one's got 1x, but it's got two constant terms. So negative 7x minus 52 equals the same thing on this side because those are not like terms. Okay, so distribution done, combining done, ready to move things. So I'm going to move my negative 3x to the other side by adding a positive 3x. Whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other side. That's going to get rid of that one. So now I want to move my 52. The opposite of negative 52 is a positive 52. Makes that go away. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. So what's left, these turn into zeros. My equal sign's still in the middle there. I know how people like to line them up. I tried this, I'm not very neat, but I'm trying to do my best to keep this all lined up. So that's going to be a 0, but negative 7 plus 3 is a negative 4x. Okay? And then on this side, we have negative 6 plus a positive 52 gives me a positive 46. Okay? Now I am ready to isolate my variable by dividing what's next to it, which is a negative 4. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that makes that go away. So that's going to be x equals whatever 46 over 4 turns out to be. So let me put this, negative 4. Does 4 goes into 50, 47? Here, let's try it. 46 divided by 4 doesn't go in evenly. It gives me a decimal, but it says right here, do not turn your answer into a decimal. And I think on the key, I did that. So the 4 doesn't go into it. Let's divide by 2 because they're both even, right? So 46 divided by 2 is 23, and that's a 2. So that's my final answer for that one. Okay, I could put that up there and check, but that's going to be a very hard check. So I'm just going to leave that on there. Oh, what's wrong with that? Right here, I had that it was negative. So that has to be a negative. Sorry, this is like horribly not neat. Let me do it again real quick. Negative 7x minus 56 plus 4 equals negative 3x minus 6. Negative 7x minus 52 equals negative 3x minus 6. And then we're going to move 3x. We're going to move the 52. Notice that I need to cross out one thing on each side. Be careful you don't move everything over to one side. You don't want 0 on one side. You want x's on one side, constant terms on the other, or numbers on the other side. It's a little neater. What did I say that was? 23, negative 23 over 2. Let me change the key real quick. Make a note on it not to put a decimal because the instructions said at the top, right there. Don't put a decimal, and I ignored it. Okay, sorry about that on the key. All right, that one's done. Next one, distribute. Distribute. And that's sitting there. And this is my only variable term right here. So that means this has got to go. So it's got to be moved to the other side by adding its opposite. Makes it go away. I think that's negative 25 divided by 3 divided by 3. Y is going to equal negative 25 over 3. I did ones. You can check this. I actually did check this one, even though that's kind of an ugly fraction. Let me see if I got room to do that. Put this back over here. Oops. Y equals negative 25 over 3. All right, so if I was putting this back in, 3 is going to equal negative 25 over 3. Sorry, minus 2 equals negative 31. So 3, I need to make these like denominators to be able to add or subtract these together. So what is 2 in terms of a 3? So that would be 6 over 3. So that would be 3 times negative 31 over 3. And then the 3's would go away, so you get negative 31 equals negative 31. So that one is correct. Okay. Let's see, this one here. There is nothing to distribute. There is nothing to combine. So we're ready to move. Okay, so what's wrong? We need to move the 8x that way and the 7 over there. So I'm going to subtract 7. I'm going to go over here and put that underneath the constant. That's going to get rid of that. And then this is, I'm going to subtract 8x because that's going to get rid of that. I'm going to go over here and put that underneath here. I like to do them vertical. It's up to you whether you want to do them this way. 9x minus 8x is x equals 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay, we're done. So let me check that. 9 times 2 plus 7 equals 8 times 2 plus 9. That would be 18 plus 7 equals 16 plus 9. That is 25 equals 25. Yep. Okay, that's the answer. All right. All right, this one up here, there's just a 43 on that side. Keep the 32 because there's something to distribute here. Negative 6 times a negative 1 is a positive 6. When you distribute, you're removing the parentheses, but don't forget that that's a plus, not... Let me get rid of the picture. This is not right here. So right here, this is not a multiplication. So make sure that turns into a plus, okay? We did this first. Negative 6 times negative 1 is a positive 6. And then we're distributing the negative 6 to the negative 1w, which is kind of weird, but that'll be a plus 6w. Okay? That is our only variable, so we need to combine these like terms here. 43, still haven't touched that, equals 38 plus 6w. Now I need to move the 38 to the other side by making a 0 on this side. And subtracting, I believe you get 5 equals 6w. Then I need to isolate my w by dividing by what's next to it. Do the same to the other side. And my final answer is 5 over 6. And I did check that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make them all fractions. But that's something that people were having problems with. So, all right, so... Okay. It's important to know how to handle these. You can go ahead and distribute if you want. So let's see, negative 4a plus 2 over 9 equals 4. So we want to be able to clear our fractions. that's kind of, because this is kind of a mess. I want to make sure that I can get that a by itself. So to do that, what happens if I multiply this whole side times 9? I multiply that side times 9. It's an equation. As long as I do the same thing to each side, what happens is that reduces that, and that turns into that equals 36. I know I went fast on that, but we're going to try to remember we can clear fractions in the next chapter. There's a lot of fractions, so if you prefer clearing them out and not working with them, in fact, this one, I think you have to. This is how you would do that. You multiply whatever the denominator is times each side, makes it go away. Okay? And then you're ready to, then you are ready to get rid of that 2 or move it, to the other side. So 4a equals what? 34. Then you isolate. So you get a equals 34 over 4, which needs to be divided. Let's divide it by 2 and see where we get. Divide it by 2 and we get 17. Don't lose my negative. 17 over 2, and that's it. Whew, all these are fractions. Sorry. Let's try this one. Positive 21x. I don't need the positive. Let's try that again. 21x minus 9 plus 8x equals 5x minus 4 plus 24x. All right, combine like terms. Combine like terms. Move the x's to this side. And move this 9 to the other side. Oops, this is going to be 29x minus 29x, and this is going to be, okay, so that goes away too. So I'm going to end up with 0. So this is one of those. And this is going to end up being a positive 5. So that doesn't equal that, so my final answer is no solution. There's nothing you can put in for x that will make that side equal the other side. Okay? All right, so this one, get that out of the way. This one has a formula that we're going to substitute for f, okay, as in Frank. We're solving for r, which is right there. So we need to start by substituting this number for the f right here and writing everything else down. Okay? That means I need to eventually get the r by itself. So step 1, I can't add these together. I can distribute. What is 35 times 9 is 315. Okay. Combine like terms. Move that to the other side. And end up with 612 equals 9r. So then 9r, I'm sorry, I'm just going to flip around. I'm allowed to do that. It doesn't matter which side it's really on. I'm running out of room here. So this is going to be r equals whatever 612 is divided by 9 is. Does that go in evenly so I don't get a decimal? I think it's worth trying. 612 is a huge number, and I just want to start by, you could use the divisibility rules, the divisibility tests. 3 obviously goes into a 9. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So 3 obviously goes into both of these. I can do that first, but 612 divided by 9 is 68. So the whole thing goes in. Okay, And you can always put this back up in here and go 68 minus 35. Let me try it with my calculator. 68 times, no, not times. 68 minus 35 equals 33 times 9 equals something plus 75 equals 372. Okay, so that is correct. All right, let's go over here. Let's see, nothing to combine. Oh, we got a distribution, so leave this alone. This is negative 16n, positive 6 plus 3n. Combine like terms looks like it's on this side, so we're still not touching this. Negative 13n plus 6. And I think we're ready to move. So I want to move this one this way. And I want to move this one this way. And I'm going to have 5n left over on this side and 25 over here. Isolate my variable and equals 5. I could put that in check if I wanted to. All right, last two. A 36-inch wire, that whole thing is 36 inches, is cut into two pieces. The longer piece is 6 inches longer than the smaller piece. How long is the shorter piece? Write an equation and solve. This 36-inch wire is cut into two pieces. One is 6 inches longer. So this is I'm going to go with this is the longer piece and this is the shorter piece. Okay? The longer piece is 6 inches longer than the smaller. So if we need to write an equation, we need a variable. So if this is x long, then this is 6 more than x long, and the whole thing equals 36. So our equation would be x plus 6 equals 36. I know that was rough, but you can replay this to figure that out. You can use different letters. I just chose to use x. It didn't tell you. In the homework problems, if it tells you what letter to use, make sure you use that letter. Okay, I used x as a default here. All right, to solve for x, though, think of these as 1. So 2x, I'm going to combine like terms. 2x plus 6 equals 36. Move the 6 over to make it go away on this side to get the x's on that side and the numbers on that side. Divide by 2 to isolate my x. This equals 15. Solve. It says how long is the shorter piece? So the shorter piece is x, so it is 15 inches is the answer. If it asked you what the longer piece was, you'd say what, 21? So you'd say 15 plus 6 equals 21. 21 plus 15 equals 36, which is the total of the whole thing. So that's just a little check I did. Okay, so we're good. All right, and this one is a 77 foot board. Well, 77 foot. And it's cut into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. All right, one piece is 3 times as long as the shorter piece. So again, let's make the shorter piece an x. Okay, shorter or shortest piece. Another piece is 3 times as long as it. And then another piece is 2 more feet than it. 2 more. Okay, see where we're getting all this stuff from? More is a plus, times. Here are my 3. And to make my equation, I put them all together and they equal 77. Okay, and then I have to combine like terms. These are all x terms. 1 plus 3 plus 2 more is 5x plus 2 is 77. Get the x alone and the numbers together, the constants together on one side. 5x equals 75. Isolate my x. 15. All right, did it ask? It says, how long is the shortest piece? That is the x, so the shortest piece is 15 feet in this case. If they ask what the rest of them are, you can take a minute. If this is 15, this is 3 times 15. This is 15 plus 2. So 15 plus, what is 3 times 15 is 45. I could have done that. 45 plus 17, just to make sure I'm using my calculator, plus 15 plus 17 is 77. So we're correct. Okay.